Hello everyone. I'm happy to present results of our scientific study on the topic of potential of environmental responsibility and financial potential of innovative mechanical engineering enterprises in Ukraine. In the era of sustainable economies, the environmental responsible companies provide an important background both for particular industry and national economic competitiveness. In particular, this industry plays an important role in the economy of our country. In accordance with national statistic, Ukrainian mechanical engineering provides more than 6% of total volume of industrial products and about 4% of gross value added in the GDP of Ukraine. At the same time, the global mechanical engineering industry environmental activity is related to the Sustainable Development Goals, Goals 9 and 12. In March of previous year, Cabinet of Ministers of Ukraine adopted the program of United Nations reaffirming the commitment of these goals and their importance for Ukrainian economy development. So, research problem of our study lays upon the financial potential of companies and increase of their potential for environmental responsibility. Few words about Sustainable Development Goals. Goal number 9, build a resilient infrastructure, promote inclusive and sustainable industrialization and foster innovation. By 2030, this goal contains the measure of targets, including the following ones: to promote inclusive and sustainable industrialization, address significantly industry's share of employment and GDP in line with national circumstances, to upgrade infrastructure and retrofit industries to make them sustainable, with increased resource use efficiency and greater adoption of clean and environmentally sound technologies and industrial processes. About goal number 12, ensure sustainable consumption and production patterns. So it's not only important to build sustainable production, sustainable industrialization, it's also important to build sustainable consumption. Consumption patterns need to be made sustainable, particularly lifestyles in industrialized societies, to reduce their environmental footprint, to allow the regeneration of natural sources on which human life and biodiversity depend. So by 2030, the primary targets of this goal contain sustainable reduce waste generation through prevention, reduction, recycling, reuse, and encourage companies, especially large companies, to adopt sustainable practices. Mechanical engineering is one of the leading industries globally. In Europe, this industry produces more than 9% of all production in manufacturing industries. Also, it's necessary to say that the share of mechanical engineering value added of total manufacturing is higher than that of production and reaching about 11.5%. So we can presume, we can hypothetically say that mechanical engineering has both rather high financial potential and potential of environmental responsibility. Our sample based on which we did our research is 6 groups of Ukrainian mechanical engineering enterprises, big, medium, and small, divided on two categories, stable and unstable. We use data of financial position and indicators of effectiveness collected directly from statements of companies. The period of research is from 14 up to the end of 19. Number of investigated enterprises 337, and we researched two groups of indicators: financial and environmental. Financial are indicators of production, productivity, income, expenditures, profitability, profit margin, EBITDA. About non-financial, it's indicators of environmental and energy efficiency, and case study on ecological management practices. Theoretical background of our research: three concepts. You can see them on the screen. And we have developed our own mechanism of environmentally responsible development management on this industry case. Achieving priority goals is possible by mobilizing source-saving drivers and optimizing the ratio of growth rates on the final product and cost of natural sources, increasing the source-saving effect on the introduction of new technology, ensuring the integrated use of raw materials, the introduction of advanced technologies for its processing, and gradual dematerialization of production. We have calculated and few groups of financial indicators, such as average values of revenue from sales, revenue from sales per employee, value-added indicators, EBITDA, profitability by EBITDA indicators. To comment some data, we can add the comparison of data from different groups of representatives shows that the main increase of, for example, indicator of average value of revenue from sales per employee is typical for stable big and medium enterprises. At the same time, instead of their stability, the small stable enterprises has rather low indicators of revenue per one employee. Thus, they are weakest ones for achieving environmentally responsible development goals in the group of stable enterprises in accordance with revenue indicators. Next step of our research was indicators of Ukrainian mechanical engineering enterprises potential of environmental responsibility. And the data represents the tendency of mechanical engineering enterprises' expenses on achieving social and environmental goals. Thus, the most stable growth is represented by big stable enterprises. However, the worst time frame in the context of environmental support was 2016, and simultaneously the worst financial potential of enterprises was also this year. And we can say about dependence, not only based on this statement, but based on our previous research. We can say about dependence between financial potential and potential of their environmental responsibility. Additionally, we have investigated strengths and weaknesses within the context of financial potential and potential of environmental responsibility by using the instrument of SWOT analysis. And we can conclude about differences between these groups of enterprises, depends on stability and instability. In particular, the Ukrainian mechanical engineering industry stakeholders tend to pay attention on the following activities. Firstly, stimulating the development of environmental management system within the mechanical engineering enterprises. Ability of top managers to gather a network of enthusiastic stakeholders who will assist at the initial stage of environmental support campaign despite the lack of financial sources. Ability of project managers to provide an environmental friendly business plan and its clear explanation for future stakeholders. Creation of centralized national system of informing the national business entities and investors regarding the need and advantages of environmental support. Ability to provide an effective system for environmental stakeholders stimulation at the national level. And the last but not least, intensification of cooperation between public and private sector concerning the straits of environmental support policy. Thank you very much for your attention.